Okay. Hi guys. There's a reason why I'm in my car right now. I'm parked. It's okay. But I'm buckled in so I don't die if something hits me. So this week we are talking about coming out stories. Um, and I know that I'm supposed to be in about 2 times a month, and the reason why I'm coming in right now is just because, again, we started late in the month, and I really want to do this part because this is kind of important piece of getting to know you is the coming out story itself. Um, so to be honest, I didn't come out to myself until I was like 15 and a half. I think I mentioned that earlier. But yeah, so I didn't come out to myself until then. I was like very much in denial, and I think that's probably it's been mentioned before in previous videos, but it's really important to kind of go through that process before you're coming out to anyone else because you have to be like, that's the deal. This is what's going on. But I was very clearly aware of what was going on when I was like 6. Like, I had a huge crush on someone at my school, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is definitely like a boy girl thing, and not like a girl girl thing. And I was just like, okay, I'm a boy. And then I was just kind of like, there's no. I grew up in a very homogenous, very everyone is the same place. I grew up in Wimbledon, um, and that's very similar to where I live now in the fact that it's very not okay to be anything other than like in the box. I don't know what I was trying to do. But so yeah, so I didn't even know that there was like a solution for the problem that I was dealing with, which was in the wrong situation. Um, so I originally did come out as bisexual, I think, which is inaccurate. It's more towards just I really don't care what you identify as or whatever if I'm interested in you. But that's a different story. Sexuality and gender are very different. And I think that was very clear for me because I was very much like, so, gender thing. Like it was more like I came out and then I was like, this isn't the complete story. There's something else going on. And I think that the big breakthrough for me was when one of my friends sat me down and he was like, so gender-wise, how do you identify? Like I think I already know like sexual orientation, all this stuff, like what's going on with that. But he was kind of like, so what's the gender thing going on? Like you seem pretty like gender fluid, and I kind of want to know what the deal is. You know, because he was very gender fluid. He played with gender a lot. I think he identifies as more an androgynous type of person. Now. But was definitely playing around with it a lot more back then. Which is a few years ago. And I think I kind of was like, okay, I'm like, I'll be kind of an androgynous kind of person. That's kind of how I've always been. Um, and then again, there was like feeling like this isn't everything. Um, and when I was 15 and a half, 16, I did come across the fact that transgender people existed. And that was when I was like, yes, there's a solution to my problems. Everything's gonna be okay. Um, but that's not exactly how that worked out. Because I think, all the instances that I did come out, when it came to my family, I was outed both times. I was outed to my family. Um, which first of all, don't out people. That was not helpful. It was a bit of a crazy time period for me. Still is very crazy because I think when it comes to my family, that's kind of a personal thing, but at the same time, like when you're dealing with like conservative people, it wasn't necessarily that they were conservative. It was more that like me, they hadn't really come across it that much, so they didn't know anything about this. And when you deal with something that you don't know, you kind of go into denial, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm really uncomfortable with this. I don't want to learn about it. I don't want to do anything about it because I'm so uncomfortable. And so that's kind of the situation that I was in with my parents and dealing with religion. On top of that, and with a lot of friends as well. So I think that I dealt with a lot of adversity when it came to coming out. Um, because I had a lot of situations where friends and family kind of not necessarily family ditching, but friends definitely ditched me as a result of my coming out. But the flip side of that was that I gained a super strong friend group from coming out because they'd already figured out who I didn't want to be friends with because they were kind of like, see ya. So I didn't have a choice now. I was just like, I can't be friends with you, because you don't want to be friends with me. I was like, okay, whatever. Funny story. When my friends actually came back to me 2 years later because one of their really good friends came out to them as trans and was like, what do I do? Like, information, please. And I was like, funny how you didn't do that for me, but I'll help you because helping out your friend. I'm not helping you for you. I was helping out her friend. Um, who's really cool dad, by the way. I don't really know him, but he's adorable. That's awesome. You were all adorable. Okay, so, but yeah, this is kind of running a little bit long. Sorry. Um, but the flip side of that is I think that I've been put in a position where I am able to educate a lot of people. Because obviously the first thing that I ever did was like go. I mean, I'm the type of person that loves learning, so I kind of went out and was like, let's learn everything possible ever about everything ever in this like entire community, which was helpful because people kind of treat. I think a lot of you will like understand this, but like I think especially in the trans community, people kind of treat you like a walking LGBTQA whatever dictionary. Like actually, I've had teachers sit me down and be like, so what is this thing? And I'm just like, I have homework, but you know, but like be really nice about it. I think that the tip probably would be just when it comes to coming out and when it comes to dealing with people who ask you dumb questions. I had someone asking me about bottom surgery like in extreme detail at like top volume in the middle of like a McDonald's with I play water polo with the half of that team sitting at the table behind me. So I was outed to my entire team basically by him, um, which was weird. And it was basically the homophobic half of the team, transphobic half of the team. I was like, okay, but they're really nice now. I think that they gained a lot of respect for me. But in that situation, I think remember to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see where they're coming from, because they're coming from like if you remember all the questions that you had when you first realized you were transgender, or first came out, all the things you were looking up and learning about, they're having the same questions, except it's not quite about them. So they're curious, but they're like unsure of what to do. So most people have a filter. I've had several people who haven't had no filter whatsoever their entire lives, and they ask really weird things, and that's fine too, and it's actually kind of fun. So if you make it humorous, be like, "What's the weirdest thing this person could ask me?" You know, that's a good thing to do. And also just remember, like, they probably haven't come across this. Please try to be like a good example, because like as much as it sucks, you're kind of gonna be put in a position where you're representing the entire trans community for most people. And for me, it has been in that situation where they have never met anyone ever, and like it's been kind of cool in situations where I've met people and they kind of came out later, and I was kind of able to give them all the information they needed, which was nice. But so yeah, that's kind of my coming out story and my coming out thoughts is just really be understanding, like be way too understanding, like actually, like think about how much time it took you to like get over like the whole denial and like this isn't happening and I don't know what's going on period of time, and like let them have that period of time, like just let them be like, I don't know what's going on. And be really nice. I mean, like they might be being disrespectful, but that gives you no reason to be disrespectful back to them. Like I know you're like, well, I have every right to be disrespectful back. I'm like, no, you don't. Be nice. So be nice. Stick to what you believe in. Stick to yourself. Um, I think a lot of the times people started respecting me because I refused to be anything but myself. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. Cool. I will see you in a week. 2 weeks. I will see you in 2 weeks. I have no idea what we're talking about again. But I'll see you then. Oh, by the way, this is Mac. I forgot to say in the beginning.